All right. Oh boy. Oh boy. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? We gotta talk. We gotta talk. Obviously, Sunday Night Football is happening. I already told y'all at the end of my stream between the Ravens and Dolphins stream, I said I'm not going to commentate over the Dolphins game. I mean, not the Bears and Packers game. It's on right now. I got it here, but I'm not here to talk about that, bro. I'm legit not here to talk about that. We gotta talk, Ravens flock, because I got questions asked. Now, I want to specify this. This isn't a live stream to sit back and say this person needs to be fired, this person needs to be fired, and all this other stuff. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to call for anybody's job. I'm not here to do none of that. I'm just here to talk to the flock and ask y'all some questions because I feel this is something that needs to be discussed. We spoke about this last year. We're back again. We've been speaking about this for a while now, and I feel like it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. What's going on, everybody? I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm kind of just holding up. What's going on to everybody in the chat? Hope everyone enjoyed their Sunday. I was enjoying my Sunday until I didn't, so it is what it is. But I'm here to talk about this Ravens coaching staff because I want to ask the Ravens flock a serious question. Do you guys think that this coaching staff that Baltimore has, do you see them as an elite coaching staff? Do you think the Ravens have an elite coaching staff? From our head coach to our offensive coordinator to our defensive coordinator, special teams coach, quarterback coach, do you think our coaching staff as a whole is elite? Do you see them as an elite coaching staff? Because me personally, when I look at these guys, I do not think I can sit back and say that the Ravens have an elite coaching staff. I do not believe that's the case. The way this coaching staff has performed down the stretch has not been a good look. And of course, I'm not calling for anybody's job. That's not what we're here to do. The Ravens are going to do whatever they want to do. But I want to ask this and I want to address this. Do you think this coaching staff is elite? When you look at them, do you legitimately trust this coaching staff down the stretch? Now, this is a big question. This is a big question because if this team is going to go far this year, because I'm going to keep it 100 with you. This loss sucked, but this loss sucked, but it's only week 2. And again, it only sucks for today. We have Lamar Jackson as our quarterback. He played like an MVP today. We know he can put up more performances like this. We just hope the Ravens don't waste that. That's what we're hoping. But we know Lamar Jackson can play like this. That was MVP Lamar that played today. He couldn't have played better. And he did whatever he could to win. And you could tell this press conference, he was somewhat frustrated with the fact that we kept running the ball, despite the fact that the passing game was working all day. You could tell he was frustrated with that. So that is something that they may have to work out. I think Lamar's starting to get tired of Greg Roman's crap, but that's just me speculating. But, yeah, when it comes to this coaching staff, it's a problem. And I personally believe the Ravens this year, I said we were going to go 12-5. I said we were going to go 12-5. We're going to win the division and get to the playoffs. Even if we don't win the division, I see us as a playoff team this year. That's not my concern. That's not my concern. I don't have a concern about this team's playoff hopes. I do have a concern about how they're going to perform in the postseason because this coaching staff has shown that they are not to be trusted. They've shown that they're not to be trusted. What's going on, Menace? This coaching staff, I don't trust them. I think there's a serious issue here. Now, from the defensive perspective, defense legitimately cost us the game. 28 points given up in the fourth quarter by a Ravens defense. 28 points. That is unacceptable. Since when have you ever seen a Ravens defense give up 28 points in a quarter? That is unacceptable. I do not give a damn that rookies were out there. No. 28 points. What makes it worse is we had 3 minutes with the ball. So there was 12 minutes of time of possession for the Dolphins. So the Dolphins put up 4 touchdowns, 28 points. They put that up in 12 minutes. That's 3 minutes of touchdown. So not only were they scoring, you weren't even slowing them down. Keep it real. Don't you think it's too early to speculate? But I do understand. Like I said, I'm not trying to expect. That's just me speculating. But again, a lot of us have been speculating that Lamar's been frustrated with the way the Ravens' offense has gone because he said on several occasions he wants to throw the football, but the Ravens are all about running. So it's not really about Greg Roman. It's more about the philosophy of the Ravens, which is what we're here to talk about. And I'll be sure to talk about it throughout the week because I feel like the philosophy the Ravens continue to utilize here is costing this team. It's costing us. This idea of just running the football, even when it's not working, that's costing us. And it's going to hurt us down the stretch the way it's hurt us in previous years. So it ain't even like, I'm not trying to speculate too much, but it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So when I look at the defense today, this was unacceptable. I don't remember the last time I've seen the Ravens defense they played that bad in a quarter. 28 points? You're leaving Tyreek Hill wide open. Blown coverages, wide open. Tua just has to put it up there. Tyreek Hill's fast enough. He'll track the ball down. No, not even contested. At some point, you looked at Tua's passes in the fourth quarter. A lot of passes that just weren't contested. The touchdown bombs were just not contested. Why? Because of blown coverages. Credit to Tua, though, because you have to be able to recognize that there's a blown coverage and get that ball out. So credit to Tua. But I know we're talking about the Ravens right now. I cannot speak on Tua. I'm going to have to wait a little bit later down the week because, again, I'm a fan of Tua, so I want to talk about his performance, but it's going to be difficult to talk about it today, especially how I feel and many other Ravens fans feel. So I'll save that for another day. But this defense giving up 28 points. 28 points in the fourth quarter. At some point, you got to look at McDonald and say, what are you doing, bro? Like, what was Mike doing in the fourth quarter? You're watching. They're not getting... This is what makes it sad. I believe the Dolphins were missing their left and their right tackle. So they were missing people on the offensive line. That was not their 100% healthy offensive line. Yet, despite that, they couldn't even touch Tua in the second half. What has Odafe Owe done? I was expecting him to come out here and be a problem. He's done nothing. He's done nothing. Justin Houston showed up in the first half. He did something. Second half, there was a no-show. Yet the Ravens think keeping 2 edge rushers is fine. We don't really need much in the edge rushing, in the pass rushing area. We're fine. What's going on here? So you're not getting to the quarterback. All right, fine. Let's back up in coverage and make sure that we don't give up any big plays over the top. Oh, wait, the defense is still giving up big plays over the top. So you're not getting to Tua and you're giving up big plays to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, dudes being left wide open at the middle of the field, downfield. That's what you're doing? What was McDonald doing? What adjustments did he make? Because I didn't see him. And there was some problems there. And yes, you can sit back and say miscommunication and execution. Me, I'm starting to get tired of that. Every time it's always a miscommunication issue. Every time it's always an execution issue. If that's the case, then you know what? I don't think we have to look at John Harbaugh. We got to look at Ed DeCosta. Didn't you bring these guys here? You brought guys here that can't execute on the field? So now I got to look at DeCosta too. So you're telling me you brought guys here that can't execute. Because every time the Ravens offense or the Ravens defense is not doing anything and it's looking poor, we try to say the play call is bad. They say, no, the players aren't executing. All right, it's time to look at Eric DeCosta. You brought these guys here. Why can't they execute? And you know what? I'm going to give some leniency to these young guys. It's already difficult to ask these rookies to go out there and play well against veterans. To ask Armour Davis and Pepe to deal with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, that one is tough. That one is very tough. I can't even lie. That's a bit difficult to ask. But at the end of the day, no one's going to care. So yeah, these rookies did not play well. Pepe probably played the best out of the three of them, but Armour Davis got cooked. Kyle Hamilton didn't do anything right. I think he played worse today than he did in week 1. So Kyle Hamilton is not off to a great start. They're rookies. They'll have to get it together quick, but their performance today was pitiful. And I didn't even notice it. I didn't notice it until like, what was it, 3, 4, I think it was like 4 minutes left in the game when the Dolphins were going to tie the game. I'm looking on the field. I'm like, where the hell is Marlon Humphrey? Marlon Humphrey came into this game with an injury. He was out of there. He couldn't play much more. So they had to take him out. And all of a sudden, I'm watching Armour Davis on Tyreek Hill, and I'm like, that's it. Notice that. When Tyreek Hill finally break through, notice who was covering him. Marlon Humphrey wasn't on the field. So when your best corner's not out there, it's hard for me to sit back and say, well, this is what it is. You got to be able to stop him. Bro, Armour Davis is a rookie. He's not about to stop one of the best receivers in the game. One of the most electrifying receivers in the league. He's going to stop him? No. You would assume your all-pro corner can do that. Unfortunately, your all-pro corner was sitting on the sideline. He couldn't do anything. So it's tough for me to get on them, but still, even with the injuries, even with that, giving up 28 points in the fourth quarter is unacceptable from any defense. I don't care what the scenario is. 28 points given up is unacceptable, and this defense should be ashamed of themselves. So now I'm looking at McDonald, I'm saying, what are you doing? Because week one, you were going up against a Jets team that wasn't exactly the best, and that offense isn't as explosive as you want it to be. Week two, you dealt with an explosive offense. You had no answer for them in the fourth quarter. Where were the adjustments? I got to look at McDonald and start to question them there. Then we switch over to the offensive side. Now, honestly, I spoke about this on my rant, and I spoke about what I specifically had an issue with Greg Roman. I've said it myself. I don't think Greg Roman is a terrible coach. Terrible offensive coordinator. A lot of Ravens fans think he's god-awful. I don't think he's at that point. I don't think he's a great coach. I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's a solid coach. He's a solid offensive coordinator, I think he's solid. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's good. I think he's solid. He has a scheme that can work in certain situations, and when it's working, it can put up numbers and get you stats. But when you need to make adjustments, it's not really there. Now with Greg Roman, his quote-unquote, his offense put up 31 points of offense today. Now, I'm not necessarily going to put that all on. I'm not going to give the credit to Greg Roman there. I look at any sort of progress with the passing game. I look at T. Martin and Keith Williams. But a lot of these plays were due to Lamar and just the receivers making the plays. But, I'll give some credit. I think the play calling in the first half wasn't terrible. I felt like it could have been better in some areas. But, honestly, Greg Roman didn't do awful in the first half. I think Greg Roman did great. But here's the thing. I know Greg Roman in stretches can do great. But can he do great for 4 quarters? Can the play calling be consistent for 4 quarters? And you never get that with Greg Roman. I want a consistent offensive play calling from Greg Roman through all 4 quarters. You're not getting that. Which actually leads me to my biggest topic. Why does John Harbaugh never have this Ravens team ready to play and execute consistently for 4 quarters? Why can't the Ravens play 4 quarters of football? It's either they play bad in the first half and they light it up in the second half, or they play great in the first half and they slow down in the second half. Why can we not play 4 quarters of consistently great football? Why can't we finish a game? Why are we struggling to finish? Why can't we play 4 quarters of consistent football? Why is it always first half we're doing well, second half we don't do anything, or first half we do bad, second half we don't do anything? I'm trying to figure that out. Back on Greg Roman. Perfect example. First half, the play calling was going well. Going into halftime, everyone's like, man, we up 28-7. We going to win this one. Ain't no problem. Second half play calling, Greg Roman did exactly what I knew he was going to do. And at the end of the day, I don't even blame him. I told you guys this season, every single thing Greg Roman does, I'm putting it on the heads of John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta because they allowed him to still be here. Especially John Harbaugh because he handpicked this coaching staff. So everything Roman does, I'm blaming Harbaugh for it. Roman did exactly what I expected him to do in the second half. I was just hoping Lamar and the offense would make enough plays. I knew he was going to get complacent. This is the thing about the Ravens. The Ravens are so prideful in 2 things, their defense and their running game. I said one of the keys to the game is to establish the running game. But don't let it get to a point where if it's not working, you just have to force it. Right now, through 2 weeks, the Ravens are forcing the run game. They are trying to force this run game to work, and it's not doing a damn thing. It's not doing a damn thing. I want to bring this up right now. The Ravens finished this game with 155 total rushing yards. Now, you would think that is great overall, right? 155 rushing yards, that's pretty good from a Ravens running team. And 119 of those came from Lamar. And of that 119, he got all of that in that huge 79-yard touchdown run. So really, the rushing yards were really just Lamar doing Lamar. So if you take out Lamar's aspect of him being great because he is a transcendent player, he is that generational type player, take out his run and his rushing yards, And you're left with what? Justice Hill, 3 carries, 16 yards. Kenyon Drake, 6 carries, 8 yards. Patrick Ricard, 1 carry, 5 yards. Mike Davis, 5 carries, 4 yards. Mark Andrews, 1 carry, 3 yards. Matter of fact, take away Patrick Ricard and take away Mark Andrews' run as well, because both of those were on 4th down to pick up a first down. Those weren't even carries I'm looking at there. That was just a nice play to pick up the first down. So I'm not even going to look at those. So essentially, when you look at it, this team, this run game that they put all this effort in, this run game in the game against the Dolphins, they had 14 carries for 28 rushing yards. 14 carries for 28 rushing yards. How many times did we see Lamar under center just toss it to Kenyon Drake or to Justice Hill or to Davis just to see them get tackled behind the line? How many times did we see that, folks? How many times did we see that? Greg Roman's over here in the 4th quarter trying to run the ball up the gut on 4th down, thinking that's going to work. They're trying to force this running game to work. And guess what? It's not working. They're forcing the run game to try and work. Greg Roman's pride is so hurt that this running game is not working through 2 games that he's going to force them to run. Lamar Jackson's looking around thinking, what are you doing? In a game where Lamar Jackson is cooking, in a game where the passing game is doing everything well, in a game where you just have to throw the football to win, and Lamar talked about that too, they kept trying to run the ball. They legitimately tried to run the ball over and over again. And then I got to look at John Harbaugh. Why are you going for it on 4th down when you're up 14? Punt the football. What are you doing? What are you doing? So now that's one of my biggest issues here with the whole coaching staff as a whole. I look at Greg Roman. I know what he can do, but he can't do it consistently. Do you trust Greg Roman to call 60 minutes of quality play calling in the football game? Do you think he can make the proper adjustments? Do you think he can put his pride to the side and choose to do what works instead of trying to do what he wants? Can you trust him? No. That's always been my problem with Greg Roman. I know he's a solid offensive coordinator. I know his offense can make plays. I know they can put up numbers. Hell, it's going to put up a lot of numbers when you have Lamar Jackson as your quarterback. So I know it's going to put up numbers. But do you trust them for 60 minutes to give a concise, consistent play calling? No. So that's always been my problem with Greg Roman. But guess what? I already said it. I'm already done with trying to call for this man's job. Everything Greg Roman does, I'm putting it on the head of John Harbaugh because you chose to keep him. You got rid of Wink Martindale last year, and I was thinking, okay, so we're getting rid of everybody. We're about to be clean, right? You said, nah. I'm going to get rid of Wink because I don't trust in his defense. We're going to bring in McDonald. I'm keeping Greg Roman. You chose Greg Roman for your offensive coordinator when you could have made a change. So guess what? Everything he does, those dumb decisions he makes, choosing to run the ball up the gut when the offensive line couldn't move an inch, I'm holding that on John Harbaugh because you chose Greg Roman. And speaking of that, I don't even know why he kept running it. Did you notice? This offensive line could not get any push. The offensive line couldn't get any push. Why the hell did they continue to run the ball up the gut when the offensive line couldn't get any push? I don't know what to tell you, man. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there has to be some questions about these coaches. I really believe there has to be some questions about these coordinators. I mean, I legitimately continue to think that this Ravens team is so stuck in the past that they refuse to accept the way the NFL is today. They refuse to adjust to how the NFL is played today. This is a team that wants to stick with that old mentality. You got that hard-nosed defense and a dominant running game. That's what Baltimore wants. But you're not going to win like that consistently, especially in the playoffs. It's not going to work like that. Baltimore wants to get back to that. but you have to be able to have an adjustment. You're not going to be able to run the ball on people every week. It's not going to happen. Not to mention, I don't even know what Greg Roman's problem is. See, here's the thing. Running is supposed to be a specialty, but I don't know what his problem is. Why is he trying to force this to work right now? Dude, you do not have J.K. Dobbins. You do not have Gus Edwards. Your two starting backs are not there. Why are you trying to make it work with Kenyon Drake that just got here? Like, come on, bro. You're forcing this. Just put it in the hands of Lamar Jackson and let him go to work. Let him go to work in the pass game. It's week 2, and you're trying to make it work with guys that aren't even the starters. They're just holding it down until J.K. and Gus come back. But yet Greg Roman is so stuck in his pride. He continues to do what he's doing. The play calling in the second half was not good. So you had a first half of good play calling from Greg Roman and a second half of terrible play calling from Greg Roman. It's not good. It's not good. And it hurts you. It hurts you. But that's really all I got to say about Greg Roman, because honestly, even though I have problems with how Greg Roman, even though I have problems with Greg Roman's play calling in the second half, I can't even put this on him. That's the funny part. I have issues with Greg Roman's play calling that have been disturbed, that's been bothering us, and has been bothering us for so long. And I've talked about this and said this is why I want him gone. These problems have cost us games. His play calling has cost us games. It has made this offense look putrid, and it has hurt us down the stretch. But for today, no. Even though I have those problems and I wanted to address them, because I'm going to address the entire coaching staff, even though I had those problems with Greg Roman, I don't think anyone should sit back and blame him today. I don't. Greg Roman did exactly what he's supposed to do. The Ravens want to run the ball. He ran the ball. I mean, I just got to tell you, y'all want him to run the ball. That's why he's here. He's trying to run the football. It's not working. So he did exactly what Baltimore wanted him to do. I think people are going to be mad with the play calling, but guess what? Baltimore wants to run the ball. Let me tell you right now, the only reason Greg Roman is still here is because Baltimore wants to run the ball. They want to be a dominant running team. That's why Greg Roman's here. So guess what? Greg Roman did what the Ravens wanted him to do. Instead of just dialing it up and letting Lamar go to work in the pass game, despite the fact that he was going off, they just continued to run the ball because that's what Baltimore wants to do. So I'm not going to blame Greg Roman for this game. No, I think McDonald did more than enough to show why Greg Roman should be chilling out this week. Like, I'm honest. I'm being honest. I'm pointing this out because this is the same crap that has hurt us time and time again, and it's the same crap that I pointed to as to why Greg Roman needs to be gone. But guess what? I can't say anything. Greg Roman doesn't. There's no reason for anyone to sit back and say Greg Roman cost us the game. You can't say that this week. Greg Roman did what the Ravens wanted him to do. Go look at McDonald. I don't care what you want to say about Greg Roman. The defense gave up 28 points. That man's off the hook. That man's off the hook. That man is legitimately off the hook. You can't say anything about Greg Roman this week. So I don't think we can. I really don't see any slander for Greg Roman this week. I couldn't slander him. I mean, the offense was doing well in the first half, and he did exactly what the Ravens wanted him to do. Give me a second here. But yeah, Greg Roman did exactly what John Harbaugh and the Ravens want him to do. You want to run the football, so run the football. I'm not going to blame Greg Roman. I have my problems with him. I personally want him gone. But I said at the end of the day, whatever happens, look at Harbaugh. So every decision that happened with Greg Roman that you didn't agree with, look at Harbaugh. He wanted him here. So that's my opinion. I have problems with Greg Roman, but I can't blame him. When your defense gives up 28 points, Greg Roman, you're free to go. You can't say nothing. Greg Roman's offense, no matter how much we want to say, Greg Roman's offense generated 31 points of offense. Greg Roman's offense had 31 points today. Baltimore's defense gave up 42. How is it his fault that McDonald couldn't do his job and stop these guys in the fourth quarter? You gave up 28 points. I mean, I don't know what to say. So today, I mean, we're probably going to talk about it too, but let me tell you right now, Greg Roman, I spoke my problems because I'm talking about the entire coaching staff. That's what we're here to do with this live stream. I spoke my issues with Greg Roman, but buddy, you're free to go this week. Bro, your offense put up 31 points. You are not the reason they lost. Everyone's going to have problems to say fire Greg Roman. No. He going to stay here. And unless John Harbaugh chooses to fire him, Greg Roman's going to continue to do what he does. And every time he messes up, look at John Harbaugh and blame him because he chose that guy to stay. But yeah, this week, Roman, you can leave the room, honestly. Roman didn't do anything wrong. I didn't like the play calling in the second half, but at the same time, he's not the one that's responsible for giving up 28 points in the fourth quarter. That's McDonald. So, Roman, you can leave the room. You're cool, bro. You cool this week. You still didn't do well in the play call in the second half. You still have the same issues and the same problems I've had with you for the last couple years. I still personally want you gone, but this week, I have no problems with you, bro. You're free to leave. I said what I said in my rant, but honestly, I'm cool right now. I think Greg Roman gets I'm going to give Greg Roman a free card. You're free to go. How did he give up 28 points in the fourth quarter? I don't care what Greg Roman was doing in the play calling. He's thinking to himself, I can do whatever I want and try to establish the run game. McDonald's got this on lockdown. Maybe that's what Greg Roman was thinking in the booth. I can choose to run the football as much as I want. Why? Because McDonald, we're up by 21, man. McDonald and the defense aren't going to blow that lead. I'm really thinking that. Greg Roman was probably up there in the booth thinking to himself, man, we up 21. McDonald's not about to blow this lead. Let me just see if I can get some sort of run game so we can put that on film. And then when we review it this week, I'll be like, all right, this worked, that worked, that worked. Maybe I got to get Kenyon Drake here. Maybe I got to use the toss here with Davis. Maybe that's what he was thinking. He was thinking there's no way McDonald's defense is going to blow a 21-point lead. So I'm free to do whatever I want. And if that's the case, I don't blame Greg Roman for thinking that. You would think we would hold on to a 21-point lead. So it is what it is. But yeah, Mike McDonald is, he's got to be the main one held responsible. And I just look at John Harbaugh, and I'm telling you, man, I'm not one to think that the Ravens should move on from John Harbaugh. I'm not saying fire John Harbaugh. A lot of people are saying fire John Harbaugh. I'm not one of them, but I can't even lie, bro. A lot of people are sitting back and tying his job to Greg Roman because you're the one that chose to keep him here. Not to mention, John Harbaugh last year was terrible in these situations, and nothing has changed. And this has been happening for a while. Ever since the Super Bowl, you know that. Look at post-Super Bowl, even with Flacco. A lot of times in these situations, Baltimore is not ready. We don't even have a lot of situations where we play a good 40. No, I'm thinking of basketball. A good 60 minutes of football. So we don't even have moments where we're having moments, but we can't even play a concise game. 60 minutes of quality Ravens football. Those are becoming rarer and rarer by the week. So I see where people are looking at John Harbaugh and saying he's got to go. I'm not one to say that, but bro, if this continues, man, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the case. I don't know. I'm legitimately thinking this. I just feel like this has been the same problems we've been having for the last several years continue to be here. I don't know. Some people may be thinking maybe it's time for a new voice in that room. Maybe there needs to be a new voice in the locker room. I don't know. It's just the same thing. Every week, John Harbaugh does not have his team ready to play. Every week, he does not have his team ready to play. Every week, a John Harbaugh-led Ravens team does not play a concise 60 minutes of football. There are moments where they do, but they don't do it consistently enough. Every week, when the game is coming down to the wire, all of a sudden, John Harbaugh's looking around, and guess what? His defense isn't doing anything. And then you got to get the offense out there in an unfortunate situation, and then you're looking at Greg Roman's play call, and you're like, what are you doing? Lamar will throw the ball. Lamar will be on second down. He'll throw the ball to Mark Andrews, pick up a first down, and right off the bat, let's throw a toss. 3-yard loss, 2nd and 13. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Most games don't feel safe. Been a problem for a long time. Yeah, some people are starting to think we may have to look at Harbaugh and say we need a new voice in that locker room. What he's saying is not working. Legitimately, people are saying that. My question is, why did McDonald keep playing Hamilton and Williams at the line of scrimmage instead of playing them back when Hill and Waddle were cooking? That's a great question. You should ask him that. I don't even know. He didn't make adjustments. Like, legitimately, he I don't know what adjustments this dude, Mike McDonald, was doing, but I didn't see any adjustments. You're bound to have a heart attack watching Ravens games. Nah, I'm never going to let it get that bad. There's some fans that'll do that. But the best part about, I'm not going to lie, bro. Ever since I started making content, the best part about this is just airing out my problems and going about my day. I don't have to hold this anger in. I air it out, and I'm good for the rest of the day. Hell, I'm good for the rest of the week. We'll still talk about this, but it's a week 2 loss. I'm not really worried. Everybody else in the AFC North lost. Nothing really changed there. Still think Baltimore's going to make the playoffs. My worry isn't at the playoffs. My worry isn't making the playoffs. It's what are we going to do when it comes to the playoffs. This team's never ready to play. This team is never ready to play. What's going on, Devin? This team is never ready to play. This team is never ready to play. Personally, if I was a Ravens fan, I want every single coach on that staff fired. It's tough to say that. It's honestly tough to say that everyone on that coaching staff needs to be fired. It's tough to say that because if that's the case, who are you going to replace them with? That's the thing. Who are you going to replace these guys with? We aren't making the playoffs. Bro, we have Lamar Jackson as our quarterback. He's going to take us to the playoffs. Now, probably after that, I don't know how far you can expect him to take because you're going to be seeing guys like Mahomes and Allen there, and I don't think you can have Lamar just have to go up against that, and then their defense is like, there's only so much Lamar Jackson can do. But, yeah, Baltimore is going to make the playoffs. Baltimore is going to make the playoffs. Like, as long as Lamar Jackson is healthy, Baltimore is gonna make the playoffs. Hell, last year when we were filled with injuries, we were 8-3 with this dude. We're going to make the playoffs. So it's not a concern about making the playoffs. The concern is, what are we going to do when we get to the playoffs? Now, of course, hopefully the Ravens don't choke like this consistently, because otherwise, if you keep losing games like this, yeah, we might actually miss the playoffs. But, again, I think Lamar is good enough to get this done. And I feel like, man, I just wish Lamar had more control in the offense. I wish Lamar had more control of the offense because it felt like there were times where he's just thinking to himself, man, I just got to throw this. And Roman's like, nope, run it up the gut. And Lamar, you can just look at Lamar's body language. He's like, I don't know if this is the play we got to run. But this is just what we're doing here. So it is what it is. Bills are overrated. Hey, every team's called overrated at some point. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I saw the Raiders blow that lead to the Cardinals. That was sad. Cannot believe Hunter fumbled and it was taken in for a fumble return touchdown in overtime to win the game. That's crazy. I'm sorry, Harbaugh needs to stop being so soft. Yes, I like they're being cautious, but JK literally played more full practices than MP. Let him play. No way he don't play next week. I'm assuming he's going to play next week. Because if he was a full participant in practice, he's going to play next week, especially if he's a full participant then. What happened to the Ravens, man? I fell asleep before the second half. Well, you fell asleep before the second half. We choked the game. That's what happened. I don't want to go into detail with it. We choked the game. Hollywood dropped the pass on 4th and OT. That's sad, but hey, it didn't cost them the game. Defense showed up. So, defense showed up. All AFC North teams disappointed today. That's the only silver lining you can have. Steelers fans are wondering, how the hell did they lose to the Patriots? The Browns are really confused how they let Joe Flacco beat themselves. And the Bengals are confused as to how they lost to a Cowboys team with no Dak Prescott. Everybody in the AFC North is kind of confused right now. Like, Baltimore is shocked that they blew a 21-point lead to the Dolphins. The Browns are shocked that they choked against Joe Flacco and the Jets. The Steelers have no clue how they lost that game to the Patriots. And the Bengals are still looking around saying, how did we lose to a Dallas team with no Dak Prescott? I think every team in the AFC North this week has some questions to ask themselves. Like, none of the fan base can talk trash about each other. We're just looking around thinking, yo, did your team just not show up to play this week? Or did y'all just find a way to blow it at the end? Like, Bengals are confused. Like, what did we do here? Steelers are confused. Like, what did we do here? Ravens are like, how did we blow this? And Browns are like, how did we blow this? Shout out to Sir X Gemini with the $2 donation. Appreciate it, brother. This defense already reminds me of the 96 Ravens. It's not exactly what I want to hear. I mean, that defense was still trying to figure themselves out. Well, then again, who knows? Maybe we are trying to figure ourselves out too. Cover 2 is messing up Joe Burrow right now. It's like what happened with Mahomes last year. Yeah, Joe Burrow is not off to a good start. So it is what it is. Which coach are you more upset with, Harbaugh or Roman? Neither. I'm more upset with Mike McDonald. How did you give up 28 points on your defense? I can be mad at Greg Roman as to how he called the game in the second half. I can be pissed at that. But the offense still got 31 points. I can be mad at some of the decisions that John Harbaugh made going for it on fourth down when we were up 14. That was stupid. I can be mad at that. But again, nothing is going to oversee what McDonald did in that second half. Where were the adjustments? Why couldn't the pass rush get to Tua? Why was he left to sit in the backfield and throw for as much as he wanted to? Why were there so many blown coverages? Mike McDonald is the person I'm most upset with today because the defense gave up 28 points. Lamar played like an MVP today, and we lost the game. Marcus Williams had 2 picks, and we lost the game. We got our first kick return for a touchdown in God knows how long, and we lost the game. 38 total points, 2 turnovers, Lamar looking like an MVP. Think about this, 4 total touchdowns for Lamar. And we lost the game. Maybe this is just a fluke week for Mike McDonald. Maybe he'll improve later on, although I'll admit it, I am missing Martindale already. Again, it's week 2, and it's new for him. I'm not one to fully buy into McDonald. He has to prove it to me. That's how I do it, but he did not do good this week. Honestly, week 4. I don't care about the Patriots next week. Week 4. Week 4, the Bills are coming to Baltimore. You're going to have to deal with Josh Allen. You're going to have to deal with Davis. You're going to have to deal with Stephon Diggs. Show me what that defense can do then. If the defense can stop the Bills' offense, then Mike McDonald gets himself in a better place. But I do not believe that's going to be the case. So we'll see. We'll see. You couldn't stop Tua. Tua's got weapons, but you're blowing it against Tua and this Dolphins team. I can't wait to see how Josh Allen's going to play. Shout out to Sirx Gemini for the $5 donation. Appreciate it, brother. Marcus Williams just got here, and he already leads our team in tackles 2 weeks in a row. Yes, you are correct, Gemini. He not only leads our team in tackles, he leads our teams in interceptions. 3 picks through 2 games. Why keep running the ball if it wasn't working? Because that's the Ravens way. Devin, that's the Ravens way. That's how we play Ravens football. Keep running the ball even though it's not working. That's the Greg Roman way, and that's the Ravens way. That's why we keep being held back offensively. McDonald pulled a Kyle Shanahan. Crazy. How are you liking this receiving core right now? I think it's fine. I think Devin Duvernay is off to a great start. I hope he can continue to play like this, but again, he's off to a great start. I don't think this receiving core has done enough to be like, oh yeah, automatic, damn. Rashad Bateman is showing that he can be a number 1, but I mean, you're going to have to play like this consistently throughout the season. I like that he had over 100 yards. I like the 75-yard touchdown to the house, but you have to play like this every week for 15 straight weeks. I can't just crown you, even though I was doing it in the live show, like, oh yeah, we got our number 1 receiver. We're hyping it up. Obviously, it's an instant reaction to a 75-yard touchdown. In actuality, I like what I saw from Rashad Bateman in week 1. I like what I saw from Rashad Bateman in week 2. I need 15 more games like that. If this guy can give me like 11 or 1,200 receiving yards and like 10 and double-digit touchdowns, be over 1,000 yards rushing and double-digit touchdowns, look like an all-pro receiver, then we could say Rashad Bateman's that guy. He's off to a great start, though. I like what I'm seeing from him, and I like what I'm seeing from Duvernay. The receiving core has looked okay. I think it's looked really nice, but I have to see it consistently show up. I can't just crown them after week 2. Like I said, shout out to my guys at the Lunch Break Hot Take, because we talk about this all the time. I'm not about to crown this receiving core for 2 games. No. Devin Duvernay's off to a great start, but he has to continue to show this. Right now, he's only viewed as just another guy. If he can play like this consistently, by all means, if you can become that all-pro type player, by all means. We know you can do it as a kick returner. You became a Pro Bowl as a kick returner. If you can do it as a receiver, by all means, Baltimore would love it. If Rashad Bateman gives us 15 more games like he did today, if he gives us not even 15, if he gives us like 10 more performances like he gave us today, 10 more performances, nearly over 100 yards, if you give us something like that and you finish the season with over 1,000 yards receiving and double-digit touchdowns, yeah, I think Ravens fans will sit back and say Rashad Bateman is truly our number one. He's arrived and all that other stuff, but we got to see more from it. I like what I'm seeing from Duvernay. I like what I'm seeing from Bateman, but I want to see that happen consistently. I like Demarcus Robinson getting himself a touchdown. I like to see him getting more involved. That's what I like to see. But, yeah, James Prochet is not played. He didn't play this week because of his injury, so I need to see something from Prochet at some point. And Tyler Wallace, I don't even know what he does at this point. Mark Andrews had a great game today, 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. Mark Andrews is an all-pro tight end. He's one of the best tight ends in the game. I expect him to perform like that, so it is what it is. Any word from what's going on with Odafe Owe? He's just not doing anything. He's not getting to the quarterback. He's not really enforcing his will. We expected this guy to be a monster. Well, people expected this guy to come in and be a monster and get to the quarterback. He's been quiet. So that's the word on it. He's been quiet. That's all that needs to be said. He's been quiet. Tylen caught a slant in the final seconds before the end of the game, I think. Well, good on him. I mean, that's cool. They were literally setting themselves up for Hail Mary, which obviously didn't work. But it is what it is. If I hear analysts talk about how Lamar Jackson should have done more to win, I'm going to lose it. Listen, when a team loses, they're always going to say he has to do more. It is what it is. The Ravens are 0-2, and Lamar has thrown for 300-plus yards passing and 100-plus yard receiving, 100-plus yard rushing. Again, I read the rushing and then I read receiving for Mark Andrews at the same time. That is crazy to think about. Lamar throwing for 300-plus. Wait a minute. I'm guessing, Jay, let me guess. The first game that he did that was the playoff game, the divisional round against the Titans. I remember that game. It's the Titans game. This is the second time it's happened. That was a Titans game. The first time that happened was a Titans game. I remember because he threw for 365 and had over 100 yards rushing and total 500 total yards in the game. And everyone sat back and said, yep, it's him. It's his fault. People would say, yep, Lamar Jackson, it's his fault. Whatever. Shout out to Sir X Gemini with a $2 donation. I appreciate it, brother. Our pass rush low-key missing Tyus Bowser right now. Boy, are they missing Bowser right now. It's not even funny, bro. We are missing Bowser. Yeah, all AFC North teams lost today, so there's a silver lining. When do we expect Ojabo to be ready? December? I don't know. I don't even know if he's going to come back at some point this season. They're hopeful he can play at some point this season, but they were prepared to not have him here. You know, it's very possible he doesn't play this season and they play him next season. If he does come back, November or December, but I'm not expecting Ojabo to play this season. If he does, cool. But if he doesn't, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. Ah, boy. Over 300 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing, 4 total touchdowns, a passer rating of 142. The man makes history with 11 100-yard rushing games, passing Michael. The man had a historical day, and we lost the game. The man played like an MVP, and we lost the game. Oh, wow. That is a crazy thought. But hey, one historical performance can only be beat by another historical performance. Congratulations, Baltimore. I think I got to pull that up because they showed that Tua was the first quarterback in NFL history, I think. Let me see. Tua, they had the stat. The Dolphins were the first team in NFL history with a player recording 400 passing yards and 5+ passing touchdowns, and 2 teammates recording 170+ receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns each in the same game. This man Tua threw for nearly 500 passing yards, 6 passing touchdowns. Both Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill were over 170 yards receiving. So one historical game can only be overturned by another historical game. Lamar may have had a historical game, but so did Tua. And you can thank the Ravens defense for that. Also, I told people that Tua can be successful. I'm not going to do it here. I understand Ravens fans are still sore, and I'm still pissed too. So I will wait till later in the season, later in the week. But I've been a fan of Tua. I know what the guy's capable of if you give him the chance. I'm not surprised to see Tua do this. I'm just sad he did it against my team. I feel keeping it real. Mike Davis is garbage. Get him off the field. Justice Hill was probably our best back. He's no good either. Joshua, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. He shouldn't even be on the field, but we have to stick. All I can tell you, Joshua, is we have to hold on, and we have to just fight it through. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards are on the way. When these two get back, trust me, we will not be rushing for 28 yards. When those two get back, trust me, you will not have a game like that. No way you're getting a game like that with those two. So we got to be patient. J.K. is on the way. He might play next week. Gus is on the way. He might play around week 7, week 8. Who knows? But those two will be back. And once they're back, we don't have to deal with Davis. We ain't got to deal with Justice Hill. The only person you have to deal with is Kenyon Drake being the third back when J.K. and Gus are tired. So just hold on, Joshua. Just hold on, Joshua. Help is on the way. But unfortunately, it's week 2 and we have to wait. Damn, if the running game was going to be this bad, I would have rather had J.K. Dobbins go this week. You know he would. J.K. Dobbins is not rushing for under 20 yards. Get out of here. I feel sorry for Lamar. The organization can't pay him and yet can't bring him proven veterans. Ravens feel like trash since Ozzie left that GM job. There's a lot of things there, man. It's unfortunate how we're wasting this dude's talent. This was simply our DBs could not cover Hill and Waddle on simple go routes. They just watched their receivers blow by. Kylo, I understand how you feel. But there was no way they were going to cover Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. The minute Marlon Humphrey was out that game, you know who was on Tyreek Hill? Armour Davis. So you got a rookie cornerback on one of the most electrifying receivers in the game. What do you think is going to happen? Not to mention, there were a lot of times you're seeing other corners on Jalen Waddle. And honestly, other than Marcus Williams, what did our safeties do? What did our safeties do? I don't remember seeing Chuck Clark do anything. I don't remember seeing Kyle Hamilton had a bad game overall, so he wasn't doing anything well. So yeah, you're not going to stop those dudes here, especially when you got rookies trying to cover them. So I'm not surprised. Mike Davis is not doing anything right now. Absolutely. He's doing nothing. Nothing. We really made Tua look like Peyton Manning. Not surprised, especially when the defense is just going to give up blown coverages downfield. History was made on our defense. Bro, boy wonder, it's becoming more and more consistent. Go look at the last 3 years and see how many times somebody's put up some historical numbers against our defense. You'll be surprised. Bateman really needs to be more involved in this offense. He was barely targeted in the second half. Only 7 targets today and 5 last week. He's too damn talented for that low of a target share. That is true. That is true. I feel you, but at the same time, I understand Lamar trying to share the football around. He was trying to get everyone else involved. Mark Andrews was getting his targets. DeMarcus Robinson got involved. He was trying to get Duvernay involved. So I understand that you want to see more targets from him. And honestly, he can get more targets. Where can he get more of those targets? How about you stop using Lamar Jackson on design runs? How about you stop trying to run the ball up the gut when it's not working and try to run a damn pass play? But, we'll see. Yeah, but I do agree. He's got to get more looks. Week 3 will be a breather if we don't steamroll the Pats. I'm going to cry. Wouldn't say that. You trust his defense? I'm not going to say. At this point, none of these games are gimmies. None of these games are gimmies. Yeah, Justice Hill is our best back until J.K. and Gus can get back. But, it is what it is. We have Bateman, DeMarcus Robinson, and Devin Duvernay more involved. We have to get Bateman, DeMarcus Robinson, and Devin Duvernay more involved until J.K. comes back, and we're going to be fine. Yeah, I don't think our receiving corps really did bad today. They weren't a problem. I didn't see a lot of drops from them, honestly. The receiving corps did their job. When they got targets, they showed up. I mean, that's all you can ask from them. When they got their targets, they showed up and made the plays. I mean, for God's sakes, you had Bateman take it to the house on a 75-yard slant. A 75-yard touchdown, 75 yards. On a 75-yard touchdown, he took a slant to the house. DeMarcus Robinson got himself a touchdown. Mark Andrews got himself a touchdown. He was still the Mark Andrews we know. Where's Owe? He's been silent, my friend. He's on the field. He's not doing anything. That's a great question. Where is Owe? Where's Odafe Owe? I think everyone's asking that because after 2 games, he hasn't done anything. Has he even touched a quarterback yet? Has he touched a quarterback? Did he touch Flacco last week? Did he touch Tua this week? His job's to get the quarterback on the ground, but you're not even sniffing him right now. Why don't we scheme Bateman like Vikings do with Jefferson? Not saying Bateman's just as good, but still, you think Greg Roman has the ability to scheme for the receivers? Like, serious question. You think Greg Roman has the ability to scheme for our receivers like they do with Justin Jefferson? What? Woohoo! That's a good, bro. That's a funny statement right there. Why don't we scheme Bateman like Vikings do with Jefferson? You think Greg Roman has the capabilities of actually scheming for his receivers? You think he can? Greg Roman, you think he can do that? That's a good one, bro. That's a good one. That's a good one, man. I really like that one. That was a good one. Thinking Greg Roman can scheme like the Vikings do with Justin Jefferson. We're not even in the same stratosphere. We're not even in the same stratosphere in terms of that, bro. Let's move on. The secondary was on the field arguing like a bunch of morons after they gave up another touchdown. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. They just looked lost in the second half. Once Marlon Humphrey went down, they kind of just seemed it was like once he left and just did not return, they didn't know what they were doing. Owe had that one play against the Chiefs last year and has been quiet ever since. Well, he had a couple plays throughout, that first half of the season, but in the second half he got quiet, and to start off the season he hasn't done anything. I mean, we aren't talking about Patrick Queen's passing performance either, but he was terrible. Patrick Queen's passing performance? Oh, you mean Patrick Queen's overall performance today? I don't think he was, I don't think Patrick Queen's performance today was passing game performance. Patrick Queen's passing game performance? In terms of stopping the pass, I don't think he did terrible. I don't think he was great, but he didn't do terrible. I don't think it was as bad as, I don't think it was horrible. He could have been better at some moments, but I don't think it was horrible. I don't think Patrick Queen went out there and put up a horrible performance. Yeah, I don't know why Giro did all these sneak-ins, because last year it was a snap to Lamar, and Lamar immediately started running when we were on 4th and short and 3rd and long too. So I don't know why we were running some of the plays we were running. Legitimately, I don't know why we were just running some of the plays that we were running. It was just, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Nick Boyle replacing Isaiah when he comes back. Oh, man, Isaiah Likely. This man is legitimately playing like a rookie. It's one thing. It's been 2 games. I hope he can get it together, but damn, he is playing like a rookie. It's one thing when you're showing up in the preseason. It's a whole other thing when you got to play an actual football game. And right now, Isaiah Likely is really looking like a rookie. He had that one good catch for that big play, but then he had another drop, and it's just like, oof. So, yeah, Isaiah Likely, he's going to have to get it together fast, but he's a rookie. I expect a rookie to look like a rookie, and I just hope our rookies step up, because right now our rookies aren't playing as great as we want them to. But it's only been 2 games. It's week 2, guys. Let's not overreact. It's week 2. Season's not over. It's week 2. It's week 2. They can always get it together. Yeah, he meant passing defense. I don't think Patrick Queen was that bad. A rookie Ray Lewis played better against the pass than Patrick Queen. Ray Lewis is one of the greatest linebackers to ever play this game. He's literally one of the greatest players of all time. Let's not compare Ray Lewis to Patrick Queen. Let's just not do that. Let's just not do that. I feel like everyone gave Marcus Peters a pass for allowing that touchdown to Tyreek Hill. No, I'm not going to give him a pass because, he's better than that. You're going to call him out for giving up that touchdown pass, but everyone looked at that play and was like, where's the safety? Like, there was supposed to be a safety there, and it wasn't. There was supposed to be safety help for Marcus Peters against Tyreek Hill, but the safety help was not there, and it is what it is. But, Marcus Peters just got back and played his first football game in over a year. So, it is what it is. Ravens are going to draft an inside linebacker next year. We'll see. Do you think the Ravens offense leads around Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson? Yeah, they definitely lean on Mark Andrews a lot when it comes to stuff over the middle of the field, and they certainly lean on Lamar Jackson to do everything. But Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay have been doing good through 2 weeks, and I'm hopeful that they can keep it up so that we can continue this level of consistency. But we'll have to see. Ravens need another pass rush, though. Houston might not be here. They need a lot of pass rushers. They need more pass rushers, and they need more corners because every year we need corners. We were toast when Marlowe and Pepe went out. Pretty much. It's time to clean house. You know what? I don't think it's time to clean house just yet. Actually, you know, I don't know where I stand with this. Part of me feels like we shouldn't say it's time to clean house after a week 2 loss. But another part of me saying that same things are happening every single year. Nothing's changing with this coaching staff. Maybe there needs to be a new voice in the locker room. So I feel like that has to be the case. But I'm just not on the train right now and saying that John Harbaugh has to go. Because, like, who are you going to replace him with? Who are you actually going to replace him with? I'm like, that's just my mindset. Who are you going to replace John Harbaugh with? You can't. It's easy to say somebody's got to get fired and go. Who are you going to replace him with? When I talk about Greg Roman leaving, they're like, who are you going to replace him with? T. Martin and Keith Williams are right there. Elevate one of them and give them the offensive coordinator job. Simple as that. I can say that with Greg Roman with ease. But with the head coaching job, who are you going to replace for John Harbaugh? If you let him go, who are you going to replace him with? The only person you could potentially think of is Sean Payton, and you would have to ask for him to come back. Sean Payton's not coaching right now. If you're going to replace John Harbaugh, you're going to have to go with another potential Hall of Fame coach or a Super Bowl winning coach in Sean Payton. If you're going to get rid of Harbaugh, Sean Payton's right there. You better find a way to convince Sean Payton to come to Baltimore if you want to get rid of John Harbaugh. That's all I'm saying. But other than Sean Payton, who, again, right now doesn't really seem to look like he's looking for a coaching job, other than Sean Payton, who are you going to really look to replace John Harbaugh if that's what you Ravens fans want? It's easy to say a guy's got to go, but who are you going to replace him with? Head coaches aren't easy to replace. Go look at what's going on with Denver. That head coach ain't really looking good right now. Yeah, they won the game, but people aren't really trusting this dude. If you're going to get rid of John Harbaugh, you better have a good replacement with him. No. Echo, no. Gruden, hell no. Hell no. You do not bring Gruden to Baltimore. No. I don't want John or Jay. Leave the Gruden brothers away from Baltimore. Hell no. Hey, they did get rid of a winning Super Bowl coach, Doug Peterson, for the Eagles 2 years ago. Yeah, they did. Didn't really work out for them that much, but again, they had to rebuild that whole situation. Lincoln Riley, I'm not sure I want to take a bet on Lincoln Riley just yet. That's a good consideration, but I'm not 100% sure. Mike Zimmer, don't trust his play call. I don't trust his coaching. Look what he did with the Vikings. You got all that talent, from Justin Jefferson to Thielen to freaking Cook, and you couldn't get it done? No, I don't trust Zimmer's coaching. I know it's Kirk Cousins, but I mean, damn, he can't be that bad. But no Lincoln Riley, no Mike Zimmer. Dion is too busy coaching these other guys to come out here. I don't think he's looking for an NFL coaching job just yet. But I wouldn't mind for a defensive-minded coach to come here. And hell no to Adam Gase too, which I agree with. Saban's not leaving Alabama. Mike McCarthy, for God's sakes, man, stop trolling. I'd rather have Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians gets a little too pass happy at times, and there's some issues with Bruce Arians, his play calling. Vic Fangio, no. Chip Kelly, no. No on Saban. I wouldn't be, again, for Saban, I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it with Saban, but I don't think he's going to leave Alabama for that. Why would he leave college? Bobby Petrino's actually an interesting one. You actually brought up an interesting one. That used to be Lamar Jackson's coach in college, so that actually could work. I don't know. I mean, we know his history of being a head coach in the NFL. We don't have to get into that. But Bobby Petrino wouldn't be the worst person to throw up there. Because, again, my mindset is if you're getting somebody there, they're going to have to build a relationship with Lamar Jackson. You're going to have to build a relationship with Lamar Jackson. You bring in Bobby Petrino, somebody Lamar Jackson already knows. Personally, I don't want Bobby Petrino. I'm not going to say I don't want. Personally, I'm not sure Bobby Petrino's going to work in the NFL. We know what he did when he was here last time. But Bobby Petrino already has a relationship with Lamar Jackson. That was his coach in college. So they already know each other. They're already cool with each other. That's already a relationship that's already a relationship with somebody that he knows, and that's somebody that he trusts. Not to mention, This is the dude that allowed Lamar to run a pro-style offense in college. So this is a guy that believes in Lamar Jackson's passing game. Bobby Petrino would not be the worst pick to replace John Harbaugh. Don't know if Petrino would want the job, but I don't think that would be the worst pick. However, I'm not sure you're getting rid of. I'm not sure this is the time to fire Harbaugh. Dan Quinn, no. Y'all are throwing up some bad names today. Dan Quinn, no. Chip Kelly, no. Bill O'Brien, hell no. Waddle, Hill, and Gesicki, incredible weapons for Tua. Yep, which is why I think the Dolphins can actually make some noise this year. Hell no. Joe Judge. Who the hell said Joe Judge? You guys are purposely throwing terrible head coach names here. Hugh Jackson. Jay, you might need to step outside for a quick second. Like, step outside and get yourself something to drink. Get yourself some air to breathe or something. Because y'all are just throwing terrible names. Bill Cowher? Y'all are trolling hard right now. Brian Billick? Gemini? No. 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 There's a reason why Baltimore let go of Billick to get Harbaugh. There's a clear reason they did that. They are not looking to bring back Brian Billick as a head coach. There was a reason they got rid of him in the first place. His time in Baltimore as a head coach was done. They wanted something new, and that's the reason why he was replaced by Harbaugh. Jimmy Johnson? I don't even know if Jimmy Johnson... Matt Nagy? No. Matt Patricia? No. You have a lot of options, and you are no to all of them. You guys are giving me terrible head coaches. You are giving me terrible head coaches. You can't just give me garbage and say, well, you got a lot of options. It's still garbage. How the hell do you give somebody a lot of options that are trash and say, well, you got a lot of options? You've given me nothing but trash. And you're like, well, you got a lot of options. That doesn't really help. Why would I take them then? I wouldn't trust Joe Judge or Adam Gase. Like, y'all are legitimately... Brian Flores, that wouldn't be a bad one. Did you see how this defense played today? Brian Flores would get this defense, but he will whip this defense back into shape. He would whip this defense back into shape. Brian Flores will definitely whip this defense back into shape. I would love him. But guess what? Pittsburgh's not going to allow that to happen. You think Pittsburgh's going to let him go? No. Now, granted, it'll be up to him if he gets a head coaching job, and I'm sure he wants to be a head coach again, but Eric Bieniemy. Again, that's actually not a bad one. A lot of people have talked about wanting Eric Bieniemy to come to Baltimore, but that would be taking a risk. I'm not against it, but that would be taking a risk. I think that the two you gave me, Flores and Bieniemy, those two can actually work. I think those could be replacements for Harbaugh. What about Ted Mac? No. I think the two you guys have given me, the two that have actually been nice, other than the trash you guys have given me for much of this, Brian Flores and Eric Bieniemy, those are two legitimate options I could see to replace John Harbaugh. Urban Myers, no, I don't. We don't need that. We don't need that nonsense here. How could you forget about Deion Sanders? I like Deion Sanders, but I think Deion's really trying to speak with these kids, man. He's really trying to motivate these kids, and I think he wants to start there. He wants to continue to gain experience before he just jumps into an NFL job. Besides, I don't even know if this man, Deion, wants a head coach job in the NFL. I'm not sure if he wants one or not. Ray Lewis doesn't seem to have an interest in coaching, so I can't say that. But, Mike Shanahan, that's an interesting one. I don't think Mike, you didn't say Kyle, you gave me Mike Shanahan. That wouldn't be too bad, especially if he wants to come back and coach. But I don't know, bro. I don't know if I can trust Mike Shanahan after the whole RG3 situation. I mean, obviously Lamar is different from RG3, but I don't want Mike Shanahan to come here and try to pull some nonsense with Lamar and say, you know what? We really like that running talent. We want you to run the ball more. Even though Lamar's like, I want to throw the football. I'm a quarterback. No, let's have you run more. So I don't know. I don't want Shanahan to come here and bring that nonsense. I had a first row seat to see what Mike Shanahan did with RG3, and that didn't work out. But I still think Mike Shanahan's a fantastic coach. So I just don't know how that's going to work. No. Stop trolling me with Marty Morningweg. Stop trolling me with Hugh Jackson. Do you trust Eric DaCosta? That's an interesting one. Kubiak is an interesting one. Because Kubiak did win a Super Bowl being the head. I believe he was the head coach with the 2015 Broncos when they won a Super Bowl. So Kubiak's another one that I would love to have Kubiak back here. I think that's another nice one. But what was I talking about here? DaCosta. Do you trust Eric DaCosta? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think Eric DaCosta he's brought in some good guys via free agency and drafting. He's gotten some nice guys. But he's also gotten guys that hasn't failed. Like, you look at the 2019 draft, that's nothing but a bomb. I'm pretty sure everyone from the 2019 draft is not on this team anymore. 2020 has been a little bit better. In 2021, we're not sure about just... 2020 and 2021, you have some nice ones there, but we're not fully sure. 2022 is still to be determined. But, I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, this has been fun, guys. I wanted to do this for an hour. Just to recap, in terms of an evaluation, I think the Ravens need to start looking at this coaching staff with a really focused eye. Eric DaCosta and Steve Buscaglia, these two need to look at this coaching staff. Look at the head coach. Look at the offensive coordinator. Look at the defensive coordinator. Look at this coaching staff in its entirety and evaluate them, because what's been happening the last several years cannot continue to happen. Today's game is not an outlier. This has been a consistent thing. You just don't know you don't trust this Ravens defense down the stretch. You don't trust this Ravens team down the stretch, because offensively they start getting complacent and doing dumb things, and defensively they start just blowing the game. This has been happening time and time and time again. This has been the same problem with the Ravens for the last several years. It's the same crap that cost us that game in 2017 against the Bengals that cost us to miss the playoffs. It is something that has been an issue for the last several years. And if the Ravens, if it takes a coaching change, if it takes a new voice in the locker room to mix things up, then my God, do it. If it's got to be Greg Roman that's got to go, Greg Roman's got to go. If it has to be John Harbaugh that's got to go, John Harbaugh's got to go. If it got to be McDonald, let's just say they thought this was going to work out, it didn't work out, it's got to happen. Again, I want to say this right now. I'm speaking about this, not saying they have to do that, but I'm speaking on this now based on what they're doing. I'm not saying anyone needs to be fired. It's week 2. I have to emphasize this because sometimes y'all like to come at me saying, well, didn't you say this guy should be fired? No. I'm saying they need to reevaluate these guys, and if they feel like moving forward this isn't going to work, then maybe down the stretch, over the stretch of the season, if things do not improve, somebody has to go. Maybe a coaching change will help this Ravens team out as a whole. I'm not saying they have to do it right now. I'm saying they just need to start reevaluating this coaching staff now and come to a decision as the season goes on. So no one needs to get fired right now. I'm not saying anyone needs to get fired. I'm not saying that. But they need to take a serious look at this coaching staff, reevaluate it, and really start to consider and think what this team needs to do. Greg Roman's play calling, Greg Roman's inconsistency with the play calling, and the fact that he can't call a concise game or a consistently good play call game for the entire 60 minutes, that's a problem. John Harbaugh making questionable decisions time and time again down the stretch when the game's getting tied, that's a problem. McDonald having his defense give up 28 points in the fourth quarter, that's a problem. Reevaluate this coaching staff and come to a decision. I'm not saying anyone needs to get fired, but we have to start looking at these guys right now. This is an issue that has to be addressed, and if we do not address it, it's going to be problematic as the season goes on. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to speak here. In terms of the game between the Packers and the Packers and the Bears, Packers are up 17-7, 3:48 left to go. Chicago with the ball, and they're gonna punt this football. So yeah, Green Bay's up 17-7. Halftime's about to get started. Eric Bieniemy wouldn't be a bad choice in my opinion. Yeah, I'm sorry, bad option in my opinion. I agree. But yeah, this is something we're gonna talk about throughout the week. So this is not gonna be the last time we talk about the Ravens. I might make a live stream specifically for Eric DaCosta. I might make a live stream specifically for John Harbaugh and Mike McDonald. I might talk about Lamar Jackson. I might talk about the defense or the offense. I might speak on some things that need to change. I do not want Dan Quinn as my head coach. Do not trust this man down the stretch. And no, No. Look at how he was in Philadelphia. I do not trust Chip Kelly. No. I don't want Chip Kelly. I'm not about Chip Kelly. I don't trust Chip Kelly's offense. No. There's a lot of names you could throw up there. Not a lot of them are not good. Some of them are good, and you could probably work towards that. But again, I don't think Baltimore is going to. I just don't think Baltimore is looking to get rid of John Harbaugh right now. So like, it's funny to bring it up, but I just don't see it happening. Legitimately, I don't see it happening. I just wanted to make this quick video here to speak on the Ravens having to, especially the Costa and Biscotti, take a look at your staff. Take a look at this coaching staff and come to a decision as to what you want. That was really just it. Legitimately, that's really just all I wanted to discuss. Offensively, defensively, with the head coach, just take a look at what we have here. Because right now, the only one that's looking really nice is T. Martin and Keith Williams. T. Martin and Keith Williams have been the only ones that I feel like, hey, you don't have to reevaluate them. They're doing their job. You're just not giving them the ball when they need to. Passing game's been on point. Did you see the passing game today? It was on point. Lamar was on point. The receivers were on point. Everything was great. But Greg Roman's play calling, John Harbaugh's decision making down the stretch, McDonald's everything in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I think that has to be something that needs to be reevaluated. Anyway, it sucks that we lost. I'm sure we'll be talking about it throughout the week and speak on our problems. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say here. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Do you think we are missing Hollywood Brown right now? No. The passing game wasn't an issue today. Did you see what Bateman did? Did you see what Demarcus Robinson did? We're fine. Have you seen how Devin Duvernay's played? We're fine. Well, actually, we're not. I would like to see more talent here, but I'm saying we're fine in terms of being with Hollywood versus not being with Hollywood. No, we do not miss Hollywood Brown. That was not the issue with our team right now. The running game's the problem on offense, not the passing game. Passing game was on point. Hell, if they would have passed the ball more, we wouldn't have lost a damn game. But it is what it is. Anyway, I appreciate you guys stopping by here. Sucks that we lost this game. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more as the week goes on, and we'll probably just have to, don't worry. We'll probably talk about it Monday. We'll probably talk about it Tuesday. By Wednesday, we're probably not going to talk about it anymore because now you got to get ready for the Patriots. So, yeah, we'll probably talk about it Monday and Tuesday maybe. I might have a live stream then, but we'll see. And, yeah, well, Monday Night Football is happening, so I'll probably be here for one of those games. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Work. It depends on when I get off from work. I think I might work late, so I'm going to miss the Bills-Titans one, but I might be here for the Vikings-Eagles one. Who knows? And either way, if I'm missing some of the game, I might pop another live stream and just talk about the Ravens and be like, oh, well, we're missing out on Monday Night Football. We'll talk about it there, but we'll probably still focus on the Ravens. Now it's really time to focus on, well, we got to let this loss stay. We got to move past that, and we got to get ready for the Patriots next week. We'll continue to discuss this week, but, hey, it was a tough loss. It's only week 2. It's time to move forward. We don't need to let that game define us. Let's move forward. Let's get improvements. And let's hope to God J.K. Dobbins is back for week 3. And let's also hope to God Ronnie Stanley will be back soon. And let's hope to God Bowser's coming back as well. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Sucks we lost here, but hey, time to move on. Silver lining, everybody in the AFC North lost. Nothing really gained here, but nothing really significantly lost. It is what it is. The division's still the same as it was in week 1. We'll see what happens in week 3. With that being said, that is all I've got, and I'm out of here, man.